So you can actually follow this later on Nini. Part of the things I'm gonna do, I'm just going to open my terminal. Okay, so the first thing for your database to work that I'm not really gonna talk about today, because I'm not gonna show you guys. I have my Postgres installed, but definitely you will definitely need it. Is before you actually start working on your database itself, you need to have a database server installed. Sasa, hello, you need to have a database server installed. Sasa, and in this case, we'll be working with Postgres, so you need to have Postgres installed. So I don't know how Windows. I think in Linux you should upgrade install Postgres, right? In here it just brew install Postgres. In Mac, then I think Windows you just have to download and click next. It will definitely work. I'm sorry, but I believe right now I should have gotten some people off to use Windows. If you are still there, then I think you are just not adapting to this environment setup. So we need to stop using those next. Anyway, if you still use next last time, it's still okay. But I think you guys can actually actually now need to improve. So next, after doing that, then you need to start the service itself. So go ahead to Google or Stack Overflow. Just look for a command of starting the Postgres itself. In here, it's brew Postgres, brew you Postgres start or restart. So just restart the entire thing, and it will definitely work for you. I don't know how it works on Linux. I don't know the specific commands on Linux. I also don't know the specific commands in Windows. But I think for Windows, you can go to services and you can see it. Huh? Sorry. If in case I'm offending you guys, just understand it's for the love of you guys to be techies. Huh? Yes. Stop using things that your kids can still use. So I had this first problem with one kid. Tuko naye home. Alikuwa amezoea kutumia Android phone. You buy a new phone today, the following day amejua kuitumia kukushinda. Ama like alikuwa anajua kuitumia. So the day I came home with an iPhone, alijaribu kutumia ikakuwa ngumu. Akaanza kunikasirikia, "Uncle, sasa hizi ni nini umenunua? Sijui nimeshinda kutumia hii simu." So I was like, "Yes. I've got you right now." So by default, when you install Postgres, it comes in with a database called Postgres. So how do you switch to the Postgres terminal? So this is original Linux terminal. So how do you switch off? How do you switch to Postgres terminal? We'll be using terminal as much as you can. There are some other DBMSs that you can use to access your database. It's okay. I'm not going to teach you how to use a DBMS, a GUI, especially a GUI DBMS. You need to learn how to use this terminal, and it's very much important. It's really gonna help you, because as much as we're gonna learn how to create a table here, how to create a database, I'm not gonna teach you. Okay, I'm definitely gonna teach you guys how to create a table as well. But for your application that you'll be doing in challenge 3, that one needs to be written within the scripts. It needs to come in within the scripts for running your application. So you also need to know how to do this thing by the terminal. Cool. So how do you switch? So just say PSQL Postgres. If I type PSQL Postgres, it takes me to this terminal CLI that is telling me here that I'm in the Postgres. So this Postgres is actually the name of the database itself. So this Postgres is actually the name of the database itself. And for us to be able to probably look into something else, so I don't know how to quit. Is it Control C? No, I think it's quit. Not quit. Huh? Oh, /Q, yes. So Yes, so instead of saying Postgres, PSQL Postgres, I could also come here and say PSQL database name. So this database name, PSQL, then the database name that you have will definitely take you to your specific database that you want to go to. Does it make sense? Yes. So allow me just to use PSQL. And now I'm here. I have some databases right now. And how do I show that? I'll just say that list. If I say /L, it shows for me the list of all databases that I have. So I have databases, FoodFast, HC, HHH, Laker, Postgres, Stack Overflow test, templates, and yes, there are quite a lot. Weather, Terry, TestDB, and etc. So those are actually my total databases. And right now I have like a total of 13 databases that I have right now. So anyway, how do you create a database? How to create a database? Just say create database name. Create database name. So how should you name this database name? Store manager. Is it create DB or create database name? Oh yeah, sorry, I completely forgot about this. Oh my god. So it is create database. Sorry, like it's actually a lot sometimes. I don't know whether it should be terminal. Yes. So create database, then the database name. Sorry, I completely forgot about that. Like I did this thing. So create database, then the database name. So, and also it has to end with semicolon. That works for you. How do I switch to that database? So if I come back to list, how do I list? I just say the / or the forward slanting slash, then L. It will list for me everything. And now you can see I have my store manager. Where is it? Yes, here it is. I have my store manager as well as part of the database that I have here. Cool. So with that in mind, how do I switch to my store manager? So I'll just say C store manager. I'm now connected to store manager. Now you can see that my Postgres has now been replaced by store manager. So anything that I'll be doing here is related to my store manager. So how do I show the tables that are inside store manager? I'll just say DT. And right now, I don't have any relations and I don't have any table. If I had one that had any, they could have actually been listed down here. So how do I create a table? So I'll just say create. I know I'm going very fast. I'm going very fast. The idea thing is for you not to cram what I'm doing, but for you to understand what I'm doing. That's how. So how do I create that? So I'll just say create table. Then the table name. That's how. How should you name this? Users. Then I just open this. As long as I've opened that, even if I enter, bado itakuja. Sasa. So part of the things that I'm gonna have is the user ID. And I want it to be serial. Serial means it is the primary key. I mean, it keeps on increasing, like incremental. You guys used to use increment, right? In MySQL, in this case, it's called serial, meaning it takes an integer and it keeps on increasing. That's how. And it's also my primary key. primary key, and it is also not null. Okay. Then what is another? So let's say f name, which is the first name, character, 20 in total, or let's say 25. 20 is okay because it's just the name. Not null. L name. We're going to do the same thing. Not null. Guys, what else do you guys want? Email. Not null. What else? Huh? What? Role. Let's say this. Let's call this 10. Not null. So ideally, it's actually a good practice to define everything which is not null to come first. So then you can follow up with things that can either exist or may not exist. So alafu also one of the best practice is in this case don't look for data that you don't need to use. Sasa kama saizi hakuna haja ulize msee address unauliza kitu gani ni simu ati are you married? For what reason now? It doesn't make sense. So not null. What else? Huh? Yes, password definitely. Okay. What else? We have an email. I don't usually see the point of having a username and email at the same time. Or you can extract the username from the email. Sindio? You can extract the user. You can extract the no. You just say the username to be automatically generated from the email. Yes. Any one person? Okay, fine. So there are some that you can actually say they are null. That's how. So let's say we have something like tel or phone number, phone character, 14. This can be null. That's how. And after that, I just do that. I close. And right now, if I enter, because I've actually closed it, right now, if I enter, if I have an error, Postgres itaniambia penye hiyo error iko. Sawa. If I don't have it, will just tell you create table. So let's see. Yes, create table, meaning I don't have an error in my syntax. Sawa. So if I come here and say dt, you can see I have a table, users, call users, and the owner is Marco Gold. This Marco Gold is the database user. In the user role. How do you feel now? I don't want to go into complex on how you can create microservices and the rest of the things. Create a table right now, right? You know how to you know how to create a database, you know how to connect to it, and you know how to create a table. The next thing is how do you connect to this database? Cool. You guys can still take up some more, right? Thank you. You guys are super nice. So I've gone back to my terminal CLI. I'll just look at I just looked at my location, then I cd into my project. What was the name of that project? ls. Yes, then I ls again. Cool. I'm exactly where I wanted to be. I know I have a lot of pending explanations that I need to do here as concerned. I wish I would be able to do a successful connection, then show you guys how some of the things I need to do. I need to show you guys as far as blueprints is concerned. But here is a simple shot about how to connect to a database. Allow me to come here, guys. Allow me to come here, guys. So we have views, right? Then allow me to come to models, create a new file, and this new file, let me call it models. I don't want to create it here. Okay, the db con. Okay, dbcon.py. It's here, but ideally it should not be here. So I want to move it so that at least you guys are not confused. Have you guys ever thought about Sublime Text, how they are asking too much? Those guys don't even want to ask for $5. I could have actually given them. They're asking for $20. Do they really know that $20 is 2,000 Kenya shillings? So I've actually brought it here. And part of the first thing that you need to import is something we call, so we have specific variables. For you to successfully connect to a database, you need something we call, okay. So we need something. So part of the things that we need is the DB host. Sorry. It's called the DB host. I'll tell you guys how to synthesize this. Oh yeah, I don't know whether that's what you wanted to say. So for us to successfully connect to is it urgent? Is it urgent? Give me the watch on an urgent. Sorry. So part of the things that before you actually connect to a database, there's something we call a database driver. And in this case, we usually use psychopg. So it allows our Python application to communicate to the database server. Previously, we used to have psychopg to be installed as a dependency. So just do pip install psychopg. Right now, it's being recommended that you use psychopg2 binary. So we'll just activate our environment and say pip install psychopg2 binary. But anyway, I'll show you guys how to do that. I will just tell, so I think the first line would be import psychopg2. Then we need something we call db host. We also need something we call db username. We also need something we call db name. We also need something to db pass. We also need something we call the db port. And etc. Yeah, actually they're usually these ones. So the host, let me start with the username. The username is now the user of the database. Sasa, in which ukirudi hapa kwa Slack, not kwa Slack, kwa terminal utaona the owner. So this is the person here. In your case inaweza kuja ikuwe wewe ama ikuwe Postgres. The name of the DB name is just the name of the database. So in this case it's store manager. And because they are strings, so you have to put them this way. Yeah. What else again do we need to have? DB host. So this host can always be local host, or it can be 127.0.0.1. Then there's the password. Then there's the port. Port inakuwa ngapi? 50? 50? To 432, yes. Then I think basically that's what you need. So first of all, you need to have mini. Then define all this. Define all this. Part of the things that you now need to consider is how do you now really connect a data to a database? And the database connection is usually very simple. So let's say our connection, you want to call it com. The connection just says psychopg2.connect .connect, and it's a function. And what it takes is what we call a database URL. So part of the things that form part of the database URL are this data here. And trust, I'm sorry guys, but I'm gonna have to copy paste this thing ahead. It takes in the DB host, username, password, name, then the port. So let me just. So host, password, name, then the port. They all come in and look through all that dependency, and definitely it's gonna work. So that's definitely what you need to pass in when you come to this URL here. So we could as well go ahead here and define what our URL looks like. So URL is equal to yes, then you come and pass it down here. Allow me, like I said, I'm gonna copy paste that part. So not this one. So let's assume that we had something like this, or I don't know whether it's here. Yeah, so let's assume we had something like this. This is basically what goes ahead and forms part of our URL. So let's just take a look. So we could have this as our DB name. So our DB name should now come here and replace our store manager. Localhost, username, port, password, and root. And anyway, the rest of the things are definitely remain to be the way they should be. So when we have something we call a database URL, it definitely works. The reason why, like, let me be honest with you guys. There are definitely a million ways, not ideally a million, but there is more than one way to successfully connect to your database. So you can decide to use my first way where you have to list up everything the way we start, which is still okay. Then just come and password. So the beginning is supposed to be this, password is supposed to be this, post is supposed to be the rest. Or if you don't want a lot of unwind stuff come over your way, you can just come and put everything in one string format, and, and get it working. Everything will still definitely work out for you. You don't like that. That's all. But each and every person has a unique way of responding. I personally prefer this, and I'll tell you the reason why I prefer this the next chapter as we look. Then, after writing your URL, so it's not like I've not used what I started to do here. I was just extracting to you guys what you really need to have. It's not like I've not used it here. It's nearly the same thing that I've actually done here. So it passes in something we call the URL. This URL is very important. And the reason why I've actually done this here, I'm going to show you guys. You can as well go ahead and use this to get all this out. There's something we call cursor. So Excuse a moment. Need to get in. So the reason why I've actually searched for these is because I don't think I have the best explanation on what a database cursor is. But anyway, database cursor is like, it allows the Python code to execute an SQL command that you have actually provided. So like in this case, if we have something like select all from users, then the cursor will allow Python to execute the query that you previously provided. And cursors are created by the connection.cursor function. And so definitely it's just passing in the connection.cursor. So the next thing that probably have is con. Let's say cursor or car is equals to con.cursor. This is how it's written. Yeah. Then you can definitely, there's now an aspect of committing Mini and committing the changes and everything. So, and this con.close close here. So this just closes the function. I mean, closes the connection. So I didn't want to write all this. So yes, so this is for creating the connection. Then this is creating the cursor. Yeah. Basically, about all this again. So it's just a matter of how to execute. Executing. So how do you execute? So result. So usually if you execute, you have a result. Let's say you had a query, right? Yes, so let's say you had a query in your command. So you'll just say con dot execute. Then inside here you pass the query that you have. So like let's say select from users. From users, in case you had, but in this case we don't really have it. So I don't really want to have things that you don't have. So this is how you do your connection. This is how you create your cards, and this is how you close your connections. It's in that 3 basic steps. But ideally, one last thing why I decided to use this. Let me just explain all these concepts. One last thing why I decided to use the URL because of this. In most cases, we usually don't prefer that you display your connection variables as strings the way they are. And what is the other option that you can use? Who knows another option? Yes, so you have to put everything in the environment variable. And so what will be the process of putting them in the environment in the environment variable as per the past case? What will be the process? So you have to define each and every one of them in the environment itself, right? That will be starting from DB host to etc, like ziko tu mingi, sindio? While at the same time, instead of going all that procedure as process, you can come here and take this your database URL, come back to your terminal, source, activate your source env bin activate, and just say export. Okay, database URL, and after exporting this, just okay, I couldn't space up, sorry. After exporting this, just paste this apple. Yes, it has now worked. So it's actually just a matter of exporting all that. And now if you go to your Python, sorry. Oh my God. What's happening? Oh, I'm already in Python, huh? Oh yes, ls. What happened? Oh, I'm using Python 3 default. Python 2.9 default, okay. Python. Sorry. Excuse me, guys. For a moment. This laptop is full here. Sorry, my machine is going off, so let me just plug it in. So instead of so how do we get that connection? So we have actually saved it right now to our terminal, right? Hello? We have actually saved it right now to our terminal, right? So how do you get that connection? So it's always just a matter of importing OS. Ah, damn. So you import OS and you just say print OS dot get and is it this way, right? Database. What? Oh. Print. Which object? Okay, anyway, my concern is, okay, you can actually come here after having all this, and let's say we have actually saved, so we're just going to say import OS, and for us to get all these URL, is just to import, say, db URL is equals to OS dot get env I think this is what I had, right? Is this what I saved? Yes, so this is what I saved. Yeah, then I can definitely come back all here. Then I'll say print db URL. So I just want us to at least have this output and see how it works. Z Python 3 app.db on seeing some case. Something is not working the way I'd actually planned. So. Excuse for a moment, I need to change something. Which one? Oh, okay. Yeah, so anyway. Okay. It's not actually picking up. Line. It's not a list. Why is it getting a list anyway? I've actually imported OS. Okay, I think I'm the one getting some error. This should be a list. It's not database, it's actually that way. Yeah, so I was just putting it here to be like in some list format, while ideally it should not be a list. It should just be a function, then I pass for it what I'm basically looking for. And you guys can now see that basically it's actually returning for me. So this is what is actually getting printed, and it's actually returning for me the entire URL that I had actually stored. So in case you are to do this, the other manual way that I had up here, it means that you'll have to go ahead and save each and every single variable that we have here inside your environment and actually extract it. So here you'll have os.getNV localhost, or os.getNV dbhost, os.getNV username, os.getNV, each and everything, which to me practically is boring, and just writing so many lines of code to solve something that you could actually write in one single line of code or two single lines of code. And that's why I actually prefer this one. Furthermore, usually it's actually like a best practice and very fast means of avoiding redundancy on basically what you do. You'll be having os.getNV, several of them that actually doesn't really do any good best practice for you. So the one thing that we usually advise is to have everything working, but using one of the best simple ways that you can actually go ahead and do. So you can definitely go ahead and implement this, and this will still basically come ahead and work for you. I think going forward, it would also make sense to let you guys know that as much as we do all these things here, as much as we do these connections and everything, in your project or in your project that you're working on, the only thing you need to find and create in your terminal is the database itself. Most of those tables, you should actually write a script that creates them when your application is being that's all. So you need scripts or you need SQL queries that create those tables inside your Python file. Part of the reason why we say compression, one, you will be required to host a I know why I end up on a database yako Postgres yako, alafu you expect database tables yako. So don't please only to talk, okay, fine, I have this database, and these are the tables that I need to provide. That's why you need the Python scripts that create those tables inside the Python file. That's all. Yes. The same thing applies to testing. So Remember, if you are to repeat those parts, if you are to repeat this part that I was telling you here, there will be specific ones for testing and there will be specific ones for the application. So it makes no sense to keep on repeating the new host test, the new host this and this, the new host test. It doesn't make sense. You can only have, you can go ahead and say the new URL is supposed to OS database URL for your main database and database test URL for your test. And it automatically works. That's all. So the way you want to implement it, follow on this. You see your prayers one. But before we actually get up to that level, I think all of you guys are aligned with know how to do it, know how to what else do you guys know how to do? You know how to do that, you know how to do that by you know how to connect to that. That is where we're gonna have it. I just want to cover something previously that I left and I was supposed to have video on and we really get a chance to do. And that will be majorly about how do we use our blueprint to version our APIs? And it's going to be like something very short. So there's all these concepts of blueprints that I practically told you guys I'm gonna cover it and I'm gonna send for your video. I think I sent an apology. Please, I hope you forgive. On how can you use blueprints to version your APIs? And this is gonna be a very short one. So you guys remember when we had this as our main function, as our main application, like this is what was doing most of our endpoints. So we had a get endpoint here, we had a post endpoint here, right? Then we also add, so we only had these two, right? Yes, and we had to use blueprints here. Sindio? Okay, fine. Thank you. The whole entire point of all this is, look, guys, as much as we are really doing this, we also need to format our work in a much more organizable way. And I think I explained generally how blueprints works, but then what I didn't explain on how do you really do it in a code. Sasa, and that is where the real threat comes in. And I told you this is how we register blueprints. And now, forgive me, I'm gonna give you guys one way. There are several ways on how we can do this. So we're just gonna say from API v1 import version 1 version 1 as v1. Then upper, all I need to come ahead here and do is delete this and say API register v1. That's how. Then I'll go to my version 1. I'll go to my version 1. The first thing I'm gonna do is from Flask RESTful, okay, import. What do I want to import? Blueprint. No, not API. Somebody, okay. Then I need also from Flask import blueprint. Then I'll also say version 1 is equals to loop. Let me just get back here. So, okay. Allow me to bring this here. So we don't really need this on here. So we need this on here. Yes, so blue, I just copied this other one, so this would be definitely be a version 1. So with all that, it means we're gonna copy this. Then API is equal to that. Then there's also this other concept. So we're going to import orders. So we were importing something from orders. Import orders from views. From views, import orders. So we won't use this here. So from views, import orders. Then I'll definitely come and register my APIs here. I'll definitely come and say API.add resource orders here. So that the only thing I need to go ahead and do the other side is to import this. So that's why I said from API version 1. Remember, all this version 1 is now treated as a package. Everything in V1 is now treated as a package. Then I'm just importing version 1 from that entire package, and I'm instantiating it as V1, and that's what I'm registering as my blueprints. So let's say I had version 2. I'll do the same thing that I have the other side, and I come here and say from version 2. Okay, assume if I had it. Okay, so I would just say from V2, import V2 as V2 and register V2. So this is how scalable it would be. So right now I don't have V2. But remember, if I had coded out V2, this is what I could have done, and it would have definitely helped me create my application. That's how. I think this should be able to run right now. Python 3 run.py. I did not import Flask. I have some other errors here. Oh my god. Niko na upuzi mingi. Sorry. Ada // oh, Flask RESTful. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have Flask RESTful. Yeah, I have. So I've only. I think the Nini, I did not install it into the Python 3.0 Nini. So I'm just using Python 2.0. And excuse me, we don't support Python 2.0. So I think basically, if you now go to my Postman, you'd see that my URL prefix works here, API version 1. Everything works as I had actually scheduled it. All the things I just need to come here and say in my Postman that for me to get everything I want is this and this and this, then get API version 1, then orders. I think it's orders. Is it orders? Oh, it's on the Nini. So, okay, let me rename this. Yeah, so if I do orders, I should be able to get everything, and it's working. Okay, so that is generally how you work with blueprints. Remember, you don't have to strain your eyes the way you are doing. You guys will have access to this video after this, so you can constantly check it on how I register my blueprints and the rest of the things. There are some things that I try to eliminate from here. Where was that thing? From my here, where I was saying instance relative config be true and the rest of the things, then putting some other relative configs. I think you guys were actually able to see that, and you will definitely have access to all that. So yeah. Thank you guys for all that. I think basically that's what we have to cover for today. For much more, please work out on your groups. You can always figure out where you need help and how you need help. But I believe right now you guys should actually be able to be done with the entire setup of the application, and should be working on your endpoints today.